In this lesson, we're looking at simplifying algebraic expressions. So an algebraic expression is made up of terms that involve pronumerals and numbers. So if you've got 2x squared minus 3x plus 7, it has 3 terms. And our terms are separated by operators or positive, like plus minus. So like terms have exactly the same pronumerals, and we can only add and subtract if they're like numerals or like terms. So if we look at our first example, I have 3a squared minus 2a plus 4 plus 2a. What you can do is highlight, underline, colour code your like terms, which can make it easier to interpret. So I have 3a squared, there's no other terms that are the same, minus 2a plus 2a. These just cancel each other out, and so I'm just left with 4. My next example is 2r plus 2pr minus pr plus 10r. So again, I highlight my like terms, and remembering what I'm doing here is I'm taking the term or the sign that is in front of that term as it belongs to it, and that helps us to identify if it's a negative or a positive number. So 2r plus 10r is 12r, and 2pr minus pr just becomes PR or 1PR. In our last example, I have 3AB plus 7AB, and then I have a plus 2 and a minus B. So 3AB plus 7AB is 10AB plus 2 minus B, because none of those terms are the same there. Now when we multiply terms, we multiply the numbers and pronumerals separately, and then we can, with our powers, if they are the same base, so if they're both x, both a, then it means we add our powers together. So I'm going to multiply these two terms or two numbers together. So negative 2 times 6 is negative 12. And then when I write my letters, I usually like to write them in alphabetical order. So I have A, B, and then I have 2 C's, so that becomes C squared. Now in this second one, I'm going to make this first term a fraction, because I know my rules when I multiply fractions. It means I multiply my numerators and I multiply my denominators. So this becomes 3 times 4, which is 12. P cubed times P becomes P to the 4. And then I have my R. And then 1 times 5 is 5. In my last one here, I have negative 6R all squared. So when I square a negative, we think 2 negatives become a positive. So this becomes 36r squared. Now when I'm dividing terms, I divide the number and the variables separately. So if we have powers that we are dividing with, if they are the same base, then we subtract. So with our multiplication we added, with our division we subtract. So with this one here, I have 6m to the 4n divided by 2m squared. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. M to the 4 divided by m to the 2 means 4 take away 2, which is 2. And then my n will stay. And there's nothing left on the denominator because I've been able to cancel all of those. With this one here, I have negative 21x divided by 3x cubed. So negative 21 divided by 3 is negative 7. And then if I picture this as being x to the power of 1, but we just don't write it because we know that's part of our negative, our invisible maths, 1 take away 3 gives us negative 2. Now if you wanted to write that without a negative power, that can be negative 7 over x squared. So that's going into some of our negative indices work as well. And our last one here, I have 4ab cubed divided by 24ab. So 4 divided by 2, that tells me, 24ab. So 4 divided by 24 gives me 6, but that 6 is on the denominator here. So I'm going to have a fractional answer. A divided by a, so a1 minus a1 gives me nothing. And b cubed divided by b leaves me with just b squared. 3 minus 1 gives us 2. So that one we get left as a fraction. And our last example here is simplifying each expression. So what we can do is we need to look to see if we can do any cross-cancelling before doing our multiplications. So I can see that these 7s are here, they can cancel each other out, so just to leave me with 1. And the 3 will cancel to be 1, and the 12 will be 4. And all this does is makes it easier for us to be able to answer the question in the long run. Okay, I can also cancel out my x's here. So what this is leaving me with is h over 4. If you can't see to be able to cancel it that way, do it across. We get 21hx divided by 84x. And from there, you just need to be able to think, well, what can I divide into both 21 and 84 in order to cancel it down? In B, I have 8a divided by, or over 10b divided by 4a over 30b. So we need to remember the rules when we divide with fractions. So this will mean I leave my first fraction as it is, I change my sign to a times, and I'm going to flip my second fraction upside down. Now from here I can do that cancelling as well. So I can cancel my b's, I can cancel my a's. I can cancel 30 and 10, that becomes 1 and that becomes 3. And I can cancel my 8, which is 2, and my 4, which is 1. So that leaves me with simply 6.